Hello everybody, my name is Strange Eli and welcome to another video. Now before I get started, I just wanted to clarify about the Q&A thing that I had set up last week in my dining with my 100 plus subscribers video. All the questions are going to be asked there, and my Q&A video will be coming out next week. So please, if you have any questions, go to that video. I'm going to have an annotation somewhere on screen here, and if you don't see it, then there will be a link in the description. So please go leave your questions there because I really want to do a fun Q&A next week, and that will be when I'm also announcing the winners of the comics. So go ahead and go there, do that thing, and let's continue with this video. So Injustice 2 Gods Among Us is coming out fairly soon. Of course, me being the one I am, I loved Injustice 1. The first game I thought had... I'm not a fan of fighting games, but I really loved that game. And I actually really enjoyed playing the story, and I was compelled by the story. And it was a great time playing that game. And so I, became so excited when Injustice 2 got announced. And I have been slowly kind of adding money to my pre-order for the Ultimate Edition, and I'm just so excited. However, I was actually looking at details today about the kind of pre-order bonuses and the bonuses you get with the Deluxe and Ultimate Edition. And the Ultimate Edition, when you get it, you have access to 9 DLC characters as they come out. So now the obvious question becomes okay, well then, who are those going to be? And at this point of recording, we don't know. However, we do know that there's going to be a Reverse Flash skin for the Flash, a Power Girl skin for Supergirl, and a John Stewart Green Lantern skin for the Hal Jordan Green Lantern playable character in the game. So, and those are going to be things, and there's also going to be some, color combinations that you can attribute to the fighters, but the most important thing is that those options aren't... I want to clarify that those options aren't things, those aren't going to be, DLC characters because they're already in the game. So what this video basically is I want to explain to you my 9 guesses or hopes or predictions for what those DLC characters are going to be. And what this is based on my loose knowledge of the Injustice comic. I have not read it, but I've read tidbits of it online. While I would base it on which characters are dead within the canon of that universe, there are characters in Injustice 2 which are deemed dead in Injustice, like Black Canary, and many others, so it doesn't really seem like that's a thing that really matters that much. I'm just gonna jump right in with number 1, Detective Chimp. Detective Chimp is a hilarious character who has been all over the Injustice comics, and I think that it would be really funny to play as a almost like Sherlock Holmes looking chimp. It doesn't even have to speak words. It can literally just be a small monkey that can just beat the shit out of all the other DC characters. But I think it'd be really goofy, something that they wouldn't consider putting in the main story, but would definitely be a fun DLC character. Number 2, and I just wanted to get this out of the way, but it's probably going to be Scorpion. Scorpion will probably show up in the game again, not based on any sort of real evidence. And people might say oh, well, it was a DLC character in the first Injustice game, and yeah, it was, so it's why would they do it again? But Scorpion is he's the mascot of NetherRealm Games and of the Mortal Kombat franchise, which Ed Boon had also worked on. So it was it seems like that's sort of a obvious option. Now, something I would definitely not be upset with, it would be either playing straight up just Sub-Zero, or either Raiden would be cool. My third choice is Red Hood / Nightwing, and now the reason why I'm separating them is because Nightwing most likely won't show up in the main roster of the game. However, Red Hood might. There's still that kind of space there. People have been clamoring for it for a long time. At the time of this recording, the full roster hasn't even been released yet, so there's still that option. But either one of those characters would be extremely fun to play again as a DLC character. And again, like I said, Nightwing already died technically in the Injustice universe. Dick Grayson is dead, but it would be really fun to have him kind of return as Nightwing. Number 4 is Deadman. Deadman is another character who died in the Injustice comic, and the kind of Deadman mantle moved on to Dick Grayson after he was killed. So it was, but I like the idea of just like red flashy spandex Boston brand version of Deadman. And now of course, like story reasons, I have because like a Deadman can't typically like interact physically with things unless he possesses the body of someone else. But I think that like his design would be super awesome to see in the Injustice game, especially if you kind of give him gear and color changes similar to all the other characters. And it would just be really fun. Number 5 would be Trigon, and Trigon is the father of Raven, who is heavily featured in the first Injustice game. And I just think that it would be really cool to have like a Ares or slightly larger version of Trigon just pummeling down in the Injustice game, because like a big brute also has like the mystic side to him, and I just think it'd be really fun. Now this is my last like out there pick, but I think it'd be super fun to have Dr. Manhattan. If you follow the DC Comics at all recently, there's been the whole big Rebirth storyline, which has brought the Watchmen universe sort of like into the fold. And a lot of like characters are sort of kind of like pseudo mentioning Dr. Manhattan. And so that whole like idea of bringing in not that story per se, bringing in, making a reference to that thing, by having Dr. Manhattan, who's like Superman sized and just like glowing blue, would be super fun. And it would just be like a great way to include like a Watchmen character into that game, especially since I remember around the time that Injustice 1 came out, people were wanting a Watchmen character. So Dr. Manhattan would be my pick. My number 7 pick would be Batwoman, and I think that Batwoman is super cool. Batgirl was already a DLC character in Injustice 1, so I don't feel like it's really necessary to do her again. But Batwoman is so interesting. Kate Kane is like such a cool, fascinating character, and her design is so awesome. And I think that if you kind of angled it or tweaked it a little more to like the Injustice 2 Batman design, I think it'd be even cooler. But there's a lot of stuff you can do with like gear and color combinations and stuff like that. That'd be really fun to see for a DLC character. And just like the fighting style, you can do a lot to kind of change it up between Batwoman and Batman, and it would just be really great to have another female character added to the roster. Number 8 would be Doomsday / General Zod, and the reason why there's a slash and they're like two very different characters is because Doomsday could potentially still be in the roster for Injustice 2 and just haven't been revealed yet, so I don't want to like say that that's what it's going to be, but I do think that General Zod, although he was a DLC character in Injustice 1, I think that having him again would be really cool, because General Zod's playstyle in Injustice 1 is like super fun. And I think that there's a lot of stuff, again, that you could do with like the whole gear and color combinations thing, especially if you kind of give him the ability to be a little more like the General Zod from Man of Steel, because I think that design is super cool. But yeah, it was just like there's a lot that you could do with that character visually and also fighting style wise, especially with the updated graphics of the PS4 and stuff like that. So, but that's definitely a character that I really want in there is General Zod or Doomsday. Doomsday is really fun too. And my last suggestion, number 9, is Plastic Man. And I know some of you are saying like, what? Plastic Man? But Plastic Man is like super awesome, and he was very prominently featured in the Injustice comic. So like there was a scene where he like punches his hand through like a lock, and he just shows it in there, and then like he kind of pulls it out and he like flips off the camera, and there's like a key for like his middle finger, and like it's like so good. And like I think that the way that you could do the stretch powers in a fighting game like that would be awesome. Like just punches or just long range attacks, and like again, a lot you can do with gear, but it would be very similar to like that stretchy character from Street Fighter, with like his ranged attacks and stuff like that, like he can kicks and punches from quite a big distance, and then like his super move, like he could like his fist could just get huge and just flatten people, and it would just be awesome. Like the creative potential that you have with Plastic Man as a fighter would be awesome. It's so much there that you can kind of part and do it. So, but that's my kind of final guess. Of course, there's other characters that I was thinking of. Like Melina from Mortal Kombat would be super fun to play in Injustice 2. Also, like Steel or any other, like, kind of like a Atomic Skull, you know, like those Superman characters, or, you know, Riddler, even though I don't really know how you do with him fighting wise, but like he could be a really fun way to like pull that off in a game. And so there's so many options to think of, but those 9 are I think the most realistic choices, and I think that those are probably you know, the right ones, but we'll see. They're just predictions. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If they bring back the rating system, go ahead and give it 5 stars, but we all know they won't. And in the comments down below, tell me if you're excited for Injustice 2. Tell me what other characters you wish would be DLC, or what other characters you wish would be in the roster, the final roster of the game, or anything like that. I love talking about it. I've been replaying Injustice 1, the Deluxe Edition for PS4, and it's just like a blast. I've been getting so excited for Injustice 2, so I can't wait. It's been awesome. So I'm going to put my Twitter up here on the screen. Don't forget to send in your questions in the previous video. Link will be in the description. Also, you can just tweet me questions if that's easier for you. And I hope you all have a good day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.